Yeah, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Benin Empire Advancement League, the home of all the Benins. Yeah, a lot happened this week, and I believe we have been seeing some actions by our youth and some patriotic Edo people have been trying to minimize the damage be done by the governor in collaboration with some Enigies and some Enogies, with some German government and the British government trying to divide the Edo people so that they can reloot uh, the artifacts they are returning back uh, to us. Yes, in my last broadcast, expressed some sadness about what is really happening, because these are people we really respected in our society that are doing this today, doing this to our people, doing this to our tradition, culture, and everything we stand for. You see, uh, in the case of the Enigi, I know right from time that many of them are so corrupt uh, in the form that during the era of Oba Eridawa of blessed memory, uh, these Enigi were so openly corrupt and misusing the power given to them at that period. Because I'm saying this from first hand, not just from second hand, not just from uh, hearing people saying this. This is what I come across, and this is true, you know. And these people were so convenient with what they were doing. They misuse so many power that was given to them to rule over their people, to 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 make sure there's peace in that land. But uh, they misuse all this power. And if you go into our community that period, uh, where the land, sense of land started, we lost so many of our youth just because of craziness of land grabbing, selling land, and others community fighting community, and this is what we are now returning to if we are not careful enough. Uh, for me, I would like to say this: if we say we are not violent people, in that sense, we are violent people in some ways because corruption gives room for violence. Corruption gives room for fake justice. Corruption gives room for everything that is bad to any community, to any land, to any country, to any continent. In the case of Nigeria, we know Nigeria is corrupt in some senses, but also in some ways, our influence are being used as corruption. In the case of the Benin Empire, we know that some of these Enigies are so corrupt, and not just only corruption, uh, they don't have the ability to really rule over the community they are supposed to be ruling. And at the same time, some of our youth, because we need to be saying the truth, some of our youth are so corrupt that they will sell their mother just because of plot of land. So we have to be very careful in all how we are dealing with these issues. Uh, what I'm not satisfied with is the way our Edo people are handling this situation. We, the Edo people, we are supposed to be standing with the palace in dealing with uh, uh, these chiefs that said their father is not their father, their mother is not their mother, or prefer to be a bastard than to be with the Edo people or be with the palace. I think we have to give them the opportunity to be a bastard and to be wherever they want to be. We should give them the opportunity by expelling them from our communities. Expelling these people from our communities, giving power to those who deserve power. Because I have been complaining about this for a long time, that some of these people that has been given power, they doesn't deserve to have this power. There's no amount of contribution they can do to the community. With just one corruption, everything will go down. We go down to ashes. So we need to be waking up the youth of this nation. You need to understand that this is your future. This is your future, because this artifact will help a lot of people in building the Benin Empire. If we have the Royal Museum, some people will be employed in those Royal Museum, taking care of the museum. And at the same time, we need hotels, we need guest houses where people can stay in when they come as a tourist to this our great holy land, Edo state, to view all these artifacts. And this is where the problem lies now. If we don't stand united behind the palace and the Oba of Benin, we are going to be having this problem in the future, that this artifact, this looted and returned artifact, will be relooted again, will be re-looted and brought back to Germany or British again, or Britain again. Why am I saying this? Now, Obaseki, as a governor of Edo State, has an alliance with the British Museum, has an alliance with the German government, taking some loans to build this museum. They are going to give him this loan, and or they have already given him this loan, and the condition of this loan could be, in some cases, if we cannot be able to pay the amount of money they gave to us to build this museum, they are going to be retaking these artifacts back as a guarantee for the money. And that is for sure. And that is why Obaseki is doing a lot to make sure he divide our people, so that this artifact will be relooted again and brought back to Germany. I am saying this not because of a lack of knowledge. I know exactly what is going on there. Because so many of these Enigies who are now ally to Governor Obaseki were involved in the negotiation of the return of this artifact. And I know that a lot went wrong in the negotiation, because the Germans were fully willing to return those artifacts. The one that is in their museum, the one that is in their possession, but not the one in the private people's properties or something like that. We have to understand why Obaseki is doing this. Obaseki is doing this. It's not just to say that something collided with something. We know exactly this month of February how important it is to the Benin people. The Benin people were robbed of their nation in this February. That was about 2 days ago. We were taken hostage. We have ever been taken hostage by the British, by the world power, by the Germans, the British, the French, the world power. because this was the first world war that was really fought, not in the European soil, but in the African soil. So we have to understand, people collided together just as they did in Iraq, what they call the coalition of the willings, to distort our civilization, to make sure we doesn't grow more further, and to distort everything we believe on. And today, I can see, because I read so many things sometimes in following some of our brothers and sisters in Facebook, in YouTube, Instagram, and all that, I can see fully the inferiority in us. The inferiority, somebody saying the white man is better, is more intelligent than us. With a question, there was no white man country that was disturbed or taken, or their country be taken away from them, that they cannot longer develop. They never know their background or know their history. You know, to destroy a nation is just taking his history, taking his background, taking his civilization. This is what happened to us. Not that the British are more intelligent than us, never. Nor the Germans, nor the Americans, no. It's only that we have been kept as a slave all these days. And now they are feeling the heat that we are waking up. We are waking up, and we are coming for to retake what belongs to us. It is our duty, it is our responsibility as Edo person to stand with the palace in doing that. Now, I used to say, a truth teller has no friends. It's only few that can be counted that are real true friends of the Edo people. Because I look at what is going on in social media. Even the most trusted people around us, I saw what they did and what they are doing, and because I'm looking at them very carefully. I now understand that our enemies are in between. They're between us. We are our enemies of ourselves. We are enemies of ourselves. There's no other people. So it is time we come up with something, to come up with unity as a priority, to stand with the palace, to stand with the Edo people, to tell these Enigies and the governors that they have no chance, that they will not be given a chance to destroy the Ubini Nukbewu nation. Because this is so important to us. Now, the money the governor borrowed from all these nations to build a MOA museum, as he called it, or the digital museum, I wonder how he's going to pay it back without our artifacts, without the artifacts that belong to our forefathers. Although Governor Obaseki was chosen by our people to represent them in good and in bad. But when things are going wrong, we need to stand up and say something. We need to stand up and say enough is enough. Enough is enough. The destruction and the division of the Edo people is enough. Because I'm saying this because I know this from the former organization where I was. When I left that organization, before I left, there were people coming in. I know these people, they were not friendly with the Benin people. They were not friendly with the palace and all that. Because many people still ask me today, why did you leave? There are a lot of reasons that led to our division or leaving the organization for them. When the organization visited the government house, a lot of things happened there. If people doesn't really understand, after 2 weeks, One Mr. Agbe Okosun started what he now started insulting the Benin people, Edo people, insulting the palace, trying to change our history. And I fully believe, 100% sure, that somebody from the government house was using him or still using him against the Edo people and against the Beninese, trying to change our history, distort our history, do everything possible to make sure our history is being distorted. Not just only Mr. Agbe Okosun that they were using many of them, and they are still using many of them against the Edo people and against the Benin Empire to have a sort of division, and they will now create an environment that will allow them to loot and reloot those artifacts that are being returned. Sorry. That are to be returned to Edo State. You see, the enemies are there. We only need to identify them with their actions. We will identify them and we will deal with them the way and the manner they deserve. Because the only few Edo patriotic people, or I can see in internet or in the social media, that are coming out openly, to make sure they stand with the palace. Even those who were fully trusted cannot even come out fully to say what these people are doing is bad. Please go back and rethink your action. We can't hear that from them. And that's so disturbing. And these are Edo people who we all respect and believe on what they are doing. And now the ceremony, everything changed. I want to say a big thanks to some youth from the Benin community because of their response to those secret press conference and others that this corrupt Enigies were trying to hold in their community. I'm still saying it, and I want to repeat it again. Violence is not an option. For the Edo people to unite again, we have to find a way of coming together, find a way and a solution to the problems we're having, why our people are so divided the way we are right now. The youth of the Benin community did something impressive, and at the same time, I have to say this, I'm sorry to say, an elderly man standing in front of you, good or bad, it's not our tradition to insult, no matter what they did. It's not our tradition to insult an elderly person who is supposed to be our father. No matter how the situation is. When I watched that video, I know it's painful to see all these old men who are supposed to be giving us direction going astray. And it is very important that we keep calm, talk to these people in a disgraceful manner to allow them to understand if they go forward with what they are trying to have. Because I know they have other secret places where they are meeting. We need to discover all the secret places they are meeting so that we can talk to them in the manner they deserve, without violence, without insult. Because we are not, I will not say we are not violent people. We have every human being is violent in one way or the other. So because we are predators, we are animals like the others, sorry. So we are also violent in one way or the other. And I would say anybody said it's not violent, maybe somebody else have not waken the spirit of violence up, because I would, I would sorry. Uh, I would say this: every human being is violent, yeah, and we try to suppress the violence in us and respect ourselves and talk to elderly people in the manner they deserve. But apart from that, I commend their effort. They did a great job by not allowing this press conference to hold, because that was very, very important. And it's like uh, winning something that very day. And I will encourage our youth to uphold to our tradition and our culture, our heritage, because this is what made us. And if you think the white man culture is better, then I will allow you to understand how many people the white man have killed worldwide. Africa, we never made that in 100 years. Not to talk about our brothers and sisters that we throw into the Atlantic Ocean or into the ocean as a whole, into the sea, killed during the slavery and others. Not to talk about that. Not to talk of the people uh, that was killed during the Benin punitive expedition, or what I call the First World War. We have to understand all this, and we shouldn't allow this to repeat himself again, because this month is so crucial for the Edo people to decide really who they are. And I've chosen my own side. My own side is standing with my culture, standing with the Oba of Benin, standing with the palace. So it doesn't really matter what you think, because we know how important, right from the Odion period, right from Ogiso period, the Benin Empire or the Edo people have been standing in unity, and they will remain in unity. Come Obaseki Awo, come Obaseki Inogase, they cannot be able to divide us in a way. Obaseki Awo tried his best by bribing the British government who was in charge to become an Oba of Benin, but he couldn't. Likewise, this governor Nogase Obaseki cannot be able to achieve what he's planning, because I will say so many things people will not agree with today, especially about the palace of the Oba of Benin. We need more information. More information must be given out to people, for people to be supporting you, for people to be knowing what exactly is happening. The time has changed, because this is not the time we were ringing bells in the olden days to reach out to communities and communities. But this time around, the social media is there. There are so many channels you can communicate with patriotic Edo people. And there are so many organizations that stand for the culture, that support the palace of the Oba of Benin. Our organization is one of them, the Benin Empire Advancement League, and no other organization too, that will stand and defend the Benin Empire when the day will come. The sovereignty of the Benin Empire should be returned to the Benin Empire, because we are not really citizens of Nigeria, because we were never part of Niger Delta Company before the amalgamation. And we, the youth of today, I can't understand. And it's really painful to see how illiterate we are when it comes to this area. of the independent of the Ubini Lokbel, of the Benin Empire, or the United Kingdom of Great Benin, or whatever we will call it in the future. Because these things, we should take it as a responsibility, as our own responsibility, to look into our history, to look into our background, to really know who we are, that we are not slaves to anybody, that we are prince and princess, that we are kings and queens, and we have an emperor we should support, who is fighting day in and day out to make sure there's peace in this empire. Upon all the atrocity that people are committing, our youth are committing, our Enogies are committing, our emperor, Omonobanedo Ukuakbolokbolo Oba Eware II, Nokidigan, the greatest Oba of all time, still wake up in the morning, find solution to our problems, pray for peace, pray for everybody, no matter whom you are, that you're a criminal or you're not a criminal, pray for everybody to make sure there's peace in Edo State, to make sure there's peace in Benin Empire. But some people will still stand up and start asking the question, what are they doing in the palace? I can tell you the palace is like a market. People come in and go. A lot of activities, a lot of settlement that is going on there. You can't believe it. There's no court in Nigeria that is busier than the palace of Oba of Benin. Believe me, if I'm saying this, many people don't really understand what is going on in that palace. And that is why it's so important that we have an institution like that. Many people are jealous of, because in Nigeria, there's no other institution that we can compare with that of our palace. That is why I'm pleading heavily with the palace, the circulation of information to the patriotic Benin sons and daughters should be easier, should make easier, so that we come to information, so that we can always defend the palace when necessary. I know the palace or the Oba is like a leopard. It's a leopard who hunt alone, eat alone, but still have families. And we are there when we come to that point. And we can assure you, we are there. Please, the information, those people who are involved in circulating this information should not be used as a market, giving it to one person to be spreading, saying some few words in the media that people cannot understand. I don't think that's the necessary step. We need full information before we know how to defend anybody. If you don't have full information, you cannot defend anybody. It is very, very important that the press secretary, or that the press people, the people who are responsible for the social media of the palace, always come out with an accurate information for the people to understand. For the people to understand what really is going on. Because when our people is left in the darkness without information, then it's really difficult for us to defend anything at all. We know not everybody stands for the good of the Benin people, but the few ones we are having, the few ones that are choosing, I call them the hardcore Benin defenders. And we should not miss this opportunity. We should not discourage them to be with us. And if you know you are hardcore Benin Empire person, please come join us in this organization. Work with us. And let's move the Benin Empire forward. Let's move Edo State forward. Let's move our people forward. Let's educate our people about themselves, whom they really are, where they came from, and where we are going to, because we are going to a brighter future. But to go to a brighter future, we need all hands on desk. That is why it's very important we come together. Unity is one of everything. Unity, stability. Let's start our civilization again, because the civilization we are living in now is a borrowed civilization. Our civilization was destroyed, and we were given another one that we cannot understand, because this is the issue we're having today. Because we cannot understand what really is going on in this civilization. The lies and the propaganda that is being pumped into our head day in and day out are causing all this nuisance. I know as of the moment in Nigeria, it's not easy for anybody because of the new Naira note that is being pretended and circulate everywhere, because of the hardship that is being imposed on our people. I will say this: let us please remain peaceful and remain calm, because nothing lasts forever. Everything, the suffering will come and the day will go. Saying this from personal experience. So, thank you for joining me on the. I appreciate those hardcore Edo defenders. Please don't leave us alone. We need you now and forever to defend the Benin Empire, to defend the palace, or no matter how the situation is, no matter how difficult the situation is. Please don't be discouraged. Continue with what you are doing. Our ancestors are watching over you, and they will make sure nothing happens to you, and they will take care of everything. But before they do that, we have to do something for ourselves. Sorry. We have to do something for ourselves and protect ourselves, defend ourselves, because they said, heaven help those who help themselves. So let us help ourselves to become something. Because like today, we are being relegated in Nigeria to the zero tolerance. So we need to change that. So thank you for joining me on by the grace of the Almighty God and our ancestors. I will be coming back again very soon, maybe not alone, because we all understand the situation in Nigeria, and we need to minimize our spending on others. So thank you for joining me, and God bless you. Bye-bye.